Rwanda has abundant rainfall and ample water resources, but very limited amounts of clean drinking water. Only 30% of the population has access to clean water. Another 32% have partial or poor access, while the remaining 40% have no access at all, one of the lowest rates in Africa. Collecting household water is often the responsibility of women and children. Sometimes as much as 12 hours is spent fetching the daily minimum of 60 litres of water that each household would need.
When I wake up, I go to fetch the water to clean the kids and send them to school. Then I go back to fetch water a second time for cooking, and then I go to fetch water for washing the clothes.
The lack of access to water places a significant burden on the women and children in the community, who most often have to do the fetching and carrying. As a result, economic productivity and children's access to education suffers badly.
I often miss going to school because I have to go fetch water. I cannot afford to miss school more than twice a week.
So Nestle stepped in. Nestle provided both $350,000 and the technical advice and support so that a pipeline could be built to bring water to the people. Nestle worked with the Lutheran World Federation and the Interfaith Action for Peace as their local partners. And the water supply project, which transcends religious and ethnic boundaries, was supervised by the local authorities and the Rwandan Interfaith Commission.
Before the rehabilitation of this source, of course, the community used it to fetch water mixed with sand, and of course soil, because it was not rehabilitated. And also the water was not enough. But nowadays, because it was rehabilitated, now the source can serve 10,000 families or almost 50,000 people in this sector.
Nestle has a historical commitment to Africa. That commitment began in 1880, and today Nestle serves over 850 million consumers across the continent. Construction on the water project began in mid-2007 and was completed in March 2008. The hardware provided included water infrastructure, a plumbing system, stone reservoirs, sand and gravel filter chambers, 25 kilometers of pipeline and 36 water points.
Previously, people here wasted a lot of time fetching water. We had to travel long distances from our homes to get to where the water was. We did not have much time for other activities like farming, but now that water is available closer, things are different. We can spend more time farming, earning a better income.
Thanks to the Nestle initiative, now water is also supplied directly to schools, greatly reducing the burden on children and mothers who used to spend hours collecting water. Along with water, Nestle also identified hygiene education as a key area for improvement. A 2005 government survey found that less than 10% of the population has access to basic sanitation, while only 30% practice hygiene to the minimum acceptable standards. Often, it is children that are most vulnerable.
For example, there was a severe problem of worm disease, and it was also affecting their school attendance because students had to take time off to go to the doctor or stay at the hospital. As a result of being sick and absent for a long time, their performance was also affected.
Soil-transmitted parasitic worms are one of the most common hygiene problems. Children would face long-term consequences, such as impaired growth and cognitive development, severely affecting their work output as adults.
The problem of absenteeism was often linked to the distance they had to travel to fetch water. But now, because they are near the water, they can easily fetch the water, accomplishing their duties at home and at school. This has really solved the crucial problem of lateness and absenteeism. This is no longer a problem.
Although the funding and technical input came from outside, the partners were committed to make the project sustainable. They achieved this by training the local communities to manage the projects by themselves. Working on the project, also help to bring the different ethnic and religious groups together, overcoming past differences.
The community is organized in terms of people paying a small fee for water usage per day or per month. The people are aware of what the money is used for as we set it aside for upkeep of the system. One person from the community is appointed as the controller of the funds paid by the community.
If a family cannot afford to pay the fee and are classified as poor by the local authorities, they receive the water for free. Although much remains to be done, thanks to programs like the Kirehe Water Supply Project, things are improving in Rwanda.